extrajudicial killings by the Nigerian police, with particular emphasis on the recent killing of ASC Oga Jumbo, who was brutally murdered by the Nigerian police force. We, the Joint Civil Society Action Against Extrajudicial Killings, are here today at this World Press Conference to lend our voice against the spate of recent extrajudicial killings by men of the Nigerian police force. To begin with, we wish to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families of all Nigerians who have and have indeed been victims of extrajudicial killings by the Nigerian police force. Our heart particularly goes out to the families of ASC Oga Ochigbo Jumbo, as well as Kolade Johnson. And of course, just a few days ago, we had 2 additional members of that families who are beneficiaries of such killings, Ms. Ada Ifani and Emmanuel Akomafua. Today, we join many Nigerians to condemn these killings in totality, particularly the numerous extrajudicial killings by the Nigerian police force, which has left many casualties, in fact, far too many that we cannot count. It is with heavy heart that we want to lend our voices and demand for justice for the victims of those who today cannot speak for themselves. It is imperative to mention that we are gathered today to speak and demand for justice, particularly for ASC Oga Ochigbo Jumbo, who was killed by men of the police force on the 20th day of March 2019. Before his death, Mr. Oga was an assistant superintendent, Corps 1, with the Nigerian Securities and Civil Defense Corps. We have carefully and painstakingly watched the events of the death of Oga, which has gone without proportionate action by the federal government of Nigeria as well as the Nigerian police force in particular. Given some of the issues that had been thrown up since the unfortunate incident, we are compelled to speak up and make some clarifications. It will be recalled that a day after the death of Oga, the police public relations officer, Assistant Commissioner of Police Frank Mba, issued a press statement on behalf of the Nigerian police force that Mr. Oga, first and foremost, drove himself after he was arrested to the police station. And after he drove himself to the police station, he was being interrogated, and in the process, he slumped and died. However, we have investigated by interacting with eyewitnesses and indeed with the wife of the deceased, and found that the statement issued by Mr. Frank Mba are false. Our independent findings reveal that the narrative of the incident leading to his death by the Nigerian police force is totally untrue. Hence, the need for this clarification. Now, what are the facts of this case? On the 20th day of March 2019, late ASC Oga Jumbo drove in company of his wife and 2 sons from their home in New Nyanya, Nasarawa State, with the aim of dropping his wife and the children in school at Karo site in Abuja. And of course, he was intending to proceed from there to his workplace in Apo, FCT Abuja. Now, as a result of the heavy traffic on that fateful Wednesday, which happened to also be Nyanya Market Day, Mr. Jumbo Oga decided to pass through the Nyanya quarters and left off the express road, navigated via the Mopo Junction and negotiated the VIO road, linking the RCCG Market Junction, where he was to make a U-turn and proceed straight to Karo site. Our findings further revealed that on that fateful day, that contrary to this false assertion of Mr. Frank Umba, that Mr. Oga committed a traffic offense, he never did commit any traffic offense. He was attempting to negotiate the U-turn around RCCG roundabout junction along with other commuters when the traffic police officers on duty on that day stopped him and were engaged in series of altercations. Now, on realizing that he was a member of the Civil Defense Corps, what did they do? They began to unnecessarily insult him, calling him names. What kind of civil defense? What kind of stupid civil defense? And all manner of names. And indeed, they dragged him out of his car, began to punch him. And when they discovered that he tried to resist the attempt made by the police on him, they began to batter him with their police baton. And when, of course, the wife and the children at that point began to plead with them, knelt down, but all entreaties fell on deaf ears. Consequent upon that, after having overpowered him, they dragged him on the floor and took him to the Nyanya police station, which was about 100 meters away from the junction where the incident occurred, leaving his car behind. Indeed, when they got there, the wife and indeed some other eyewitnesses stated that what they saw was other policemen on duty pouncing on late Jumbo Oga, beating him to stupor. And indeed, as if that was not enough, they put him behind the counter and continued beating him until he slumped. And of course, after having slumped, 30 minutes later, the DPO, who apparently had been informed about what had transpired, that Jumbo had slumped, came in and started demanding that they should give him syringe, that late Oga Jumbo was only merely pretending. After about 20 minutes, realizing that indeed it was not foul play, he now requested that they should take Jumbo Oga. Pray tell, he was already dead when he was taken to Nyanya General Hospital, and indeed confirmed dead at about 10:30 a.m. the same day at the Asokoro General Hospital. Now, looking at the several statements alluded to the police when this incident happened, we are of the firm belief that this is no time for cover-up. This is not a time for the police to cover up what their men have done. The truth should be revealed. The truth must be exposed. First and foremost, let's make certain clarifications to the statement issued by the Nigerian Police Force on the 21st day of March 2019. That late ASC Oga was arrested by officers of the police for violating traffic rules, and thereafter an altercation occurred. 2, that those who committed this act were not conventional policemen, thereby asking Nigerians to discard the fact that it is the police force that committed this offense. 3, that the deceased drove himself to the police station. 4, that the late Oga, during preliminary interrogation by the police, became unconscious, slumped, and died. All these alluded to the Nigerian police force are false, are lie and do not have an iota of truth. Indeed, the news last night to this morning are awash with the autopsy report, which they got from their independent sources, stating that he died. The autopsy results stated that he died as a result of the numerous beatings meted on him on that fateful day. Now, what are our demands? Our demands are as follows. One, that the Inspector General of Police should immediately constitute a commission of inquiry to investigate all cases of extrajudicial killings by officers of the Nigerian Police Force. Two, that the Inspector General of Police dismiss and prosecute any police officer found culpable in the killing of innocent Nigerians to serve as a deterrent to other officers who may be intending to commit a similar act. Three, that Mr. Igekele Ogunfemi, the divisional police officer of Nyanya Police Station, and his men on duty on that day that participated in the beating of Oga Jumbo, be immediately arrested along with the 2 traffic wardens that have been said to be in police custody, investigated and prosecuted accordingly. 4, that the autopsy report, which the police has a copy of, be immediately released to joint civil society action against extrajudicial killing, and the Nigerian public to see and know what truly is the cause of the death of Oga Jumbo. And finally, that the Nigerian police tenders unreserved apology to Nigerians in general and to the widow of late Oga Jumbo. And indeed,